Hi, I'm Allie, the hands behind the turtle trunk, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet this amigurumi carrot. If you're following along with the Pregnancy Progress Project, this is week 21 when baby and carrot are both about 10.5 inches long. I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Now let's get started. For today's tutorial, you will need medium weight yarn in the colors orange and green, a 4mm or G hook, scissors, a yarn needle, stitch marker, fiberfill stuffing, and optional supplies include two 10mm safety eyes and black crochet thread. We're going to start off with our orange yarn and we're going to make a magic circle. So we're going to wrap our yarn around our index finger and our middle finger, wrap around once, come back around to the back. We're going to insert our hook under the first strand, pull the second strand under, flip up, and then we are going to secure our circle with a chain 1. So we have our magic circle, and for round 1 we are going to work 6 single crochets inside of the circle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to take this little tail end and pull it tight to close up that hole. And for round 2, we're going to work straight into that first single crochet from the first round, and we're going to work 2 single crochets. 1 and 2, so 2 single crochets into that same stitch. And I'm going to grab my stitch marker and just mark the first one that I made so that when we come back around we know where we started. So in the second stitch we're going to work 2 single crochets again. 1, 2, and we're going to do that all the way around for round 2. So 2 single crochets into each stitch around. And then when we get back to the beginning, we should have 12 single crochets all the way around. For round 3, we're going to work 1 single crochet into the first stitch, replace our stitch marker, and then we're going to work 2 single crochets into the second stitch. 1 and 2. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So we're going to repeat that around for round 3, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next. And at the end of round 3, we should have 18 single crochets around. For round 4, we're going to work 1 single crochet into that first stitch, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the third stitch. We're going to repeat that. So 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next. So 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next. And we're going to repeat that around for round 4. 1 single crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next. And at the end of round 4, our stitch count should be at 24. So now on to round 5, we're going to work 1 single crochet in that first stitch, 1 single crochet in the second stitch, and 1 single crochet into the third stitch. And then in the fourth stitch, we're going to work 2 single crochets. We're going to repeat that. So 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next. 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, 2 and 3, and then 2 single crochets in the next. And we're going to repeat that around. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and 2 single crochets in the next. And at the end of round 5, our stitch count should be at 30. So now we have the width that we want, so we're all done increasing, and now we're just going to start working on the length. So for round 6, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So we're going to work 30 single crochets all the way around. We're going to do that for round 6, and then we're going to continue doing that all the way to the end of round 12. Just working 1 single crochet into each stitch around for a total of 30 stitches around. And that's just going to help keep the same width, but help add to the length. So we're just going to keep going around. This is round 6, and we're going to continue this 1 single crochet into each stitch around for a total of 30 single crochets in each round. And we're going to continue this all the way to the end of round 12. So I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to meet up with you guys at the end of round 12. So I'm just coming up to the end of round 12. So at the end of round 12, our stitch count should still be at 30. So on to round 13, we're just going to start decreasing a little bit. So in that first stitch, we're going to work 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet into the second stitch, and 1 single crochet into the third stitch. And then we're going to work a single crochet 2 together in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to work those 2 stitches into 1, and then we're going to repeat that. So 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 2, 3, and then a single crochet 2 together. Do that again. 1 single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together. We're going to do that all the way around for round 13. 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together. I only have 2 stitches left, so in the last 2 stitches you can single crochet 2 together. And at the end of round 13, our stitch count will be 24. Now for round 14, all we're going to do is work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, and we're going to repeat that all the way until the end of round 20. So for rounds 14 all the way through rounds 20, we are just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, and our stitch count is going to remain at 24. So I'm just going to continue that around and catch up with you guys at the end of round 20. And so for rounds 14 all the way through 20, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around, and at the end of each round, our stitch count will remain at 24. I'm just coming up to the end of round 20. And at the end of round 20, our stitch count should still be at 24. And before I move on to round 21, I'm going to stop and put the face on. So if you don't want to put a face on yours, you can continue on to round 21. But I'm going to grab my safety eyes and black crochet thread, along with the backings for my eyes and a yarn needle. So I'm just going to pull up this loop a little bit so it doesn't come undone, and I'm going to flip the carrot over, so I'm going to be working the face on the opposite side of where we're ending and beginning. And then the carrot's actually going to go this way, so I'm going to flip it upside down. And I'm going to put my face a little bit closer to the bottom here because we still have a lot of length to go. So I want my face to be more on the middle top end of the carrot. So I think I'm going to go between rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I think I'm going to go between 17 and 18. And then I usually put my eyes about 4 stitches apart. There. And then I'll put my mouth on before locking in those eyes, just to make sure I get it where I want it. So I'm just going to thread my crochet thread. And I like to go right beside one eye. Well, here I'll go up beside it. And then 1 stitch down and centered between. And then I come back up beside the other eye. And then just bring this right back down. And that's just going to create a little V shape. We'll see how that looks. I think that's pretty good. So I'm just going to flip this inside out. Secure my crochet thread with a couple knots. Just going to trim the excess. And then just secure my eyes down with the backings. Make sure these are nice and tight. And then flip that the right way. So now that we have our face on, we're going to carry on to round 21. So get our hook back in there. For round 21, we're going to do another decrease round. So we're going to work 1 single crochet into that first stitch. One single crochet into the second stitch, and then single crochet 2 together. We're going to repeat that. 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together. And we're going to repeat that around for round 21. So 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then single crochet 2 together. I'm just coming up to the end of round 21. In the last 2 stitches, I'm going to single crochet 2 together. So at the end of round 21, our stitch count is now going to be at 18. And for rounds 22 all the way through 28, we're just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So this is round 22. So for round 22, we're going to single crochet into each stitch around, and our stitch count is going to remain at 18. And we're going to continue that all the way to the end of round 28. Just working 1 single crochet into each stitch around for a total of 18 single crochets in each round. So I'm going to catch up with you guys at the end of round 28, and we're just going to do the same thing, 1 single crochet into each stitch around all the way to the end of round 28. I'm just coming up to the end of round 28. And at the end of round 28, our stitch count should still be at 18. And we're going to work another decrease round. So for round 29, we're going to work 1 single crochet into that first stitch. And then we're going to single crochet 2 together. We're going to repeat that. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet 2 together. We're going to repeat that all the way around for round 29. 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and then single crochet 2 together. So at the end of round 29, our stitch count is now down to 12. Moving on to round 30. For round 30, all the way through round 36, we are going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So for round 30, just one single crochet into each stitch around for a total stitch count of 12. And we're going to repeat that all the way to the end of round 36. So just continue one single crochet into each stitch around for a total of 12 single crochets into each round. We're going to do that all the way to the end of round 36. I'm just coming up to the end of round 36, and at the end of round 36 our stitch count should still be at 12. And before I move on to round 37, I'm going to grab my fiberfill stuffing and start filling up the carrot, because the next round we're going to decrease again and our little hole there is just going to keep getting smaller. So I'm going to grab some fiberfill stuffing and just start putting it in, and you can put in as much or as little as you'd like. The more you put in, the stiffer it will be, the less it will be squishier. So really it's just your personal preference on how much you want to put in. I'm probably going to put in about 3 handfuls maybe. We'll have to see once we get there. Just make sure you're pushing it all the way to the top. And just try to get it as equal throughout the carrot as possible. So I'm just going to keep stuffing mine until I get it as I like, and I'll catch up with you guys when I'm done. So we're now on to round 37. For round 37, we are going to work 6 single crochets, 2 together, all the way around. So in the first 2 stitches, we're going to single crochet 2 together, and then we're going to do that 5 more times. So the next 2 stitches, single crochet 2 together, and the same in the next 2, single crochet 2 together, and single crochet 2 together in the next 2, single crochet 2 together in the next 2, and single crochet 2 together in the last 2. So at the end of round 37, our stitch count will be at 6. And for round 38, which will be our last round, we are just going to work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So that'll be 6 single crochets around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So at the end of round 38, we'll still have 6 stitches. And now to end it, we are just going to slip stitch in the first single crochet from the round, work a slip stitch, chain 1, and then tie off, leaving about a 6-inch tail. Pull that loop. Then if you want to grab your yarn needle, we're just going to weave this end through the last 6 stitches just to help close up that hole. So we're just going to weave in and out of the last 6 stitches. And then when you reach the beginning again, just going to pull tight, and that's just going to close up that hole, and we'll just secure it with a couple knots. And then we can just hide our tail end inside of the carrot. And then I'm just going to trim this little tail piece. And then you can kind of just push down some of that fiberfill stuffing to fill it down to the bottom. And there we go. So we have our main part of our carrot. And now if you want to grab the green yarn, we will move on to the leaf topper. So for our leaf, we're going to grab our green yarn. We're going to start off with a magic circle. chain 1, and then for round 1 we're going to work 6 single crochets inside of the circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Pull that tail end tight to close up that hole. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into that first stitch. And then we're going to chain 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And in the second chain from the hook, we're going to work 1 single crochet. And we're going to single crochet into each chain down. So there will be a total of 10 single crochets down our chain. And when you reach the bottom, we are going to single crochet into the next stitch around. So into that second single crochet from round 1, we are going to work a single crochet, and then we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the second chain from the hook, we're going to work a single crochet, and we are going to single crochet into each chain down. So this will give us a total of 5 single crochets down our chain. And when we reach the bottom again, we're going to work a single crochet into the next stitch around. And we're going to chain 11 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 11. We need 11. So we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook again, and single crochet into each chain down for a total of 10 single crochets down the chain. And now you can make these chains as long or as short as you want. These are just going to be like the little spikes on the leaves, the carrot toppers, so you can make them longer, shorter. It really doesn't matter. I'm just going to go back and forth of doing a 11 chain and a 6 chain. So I'm going to single crochet in the next stitch along the bottom and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook and work a total of 5 single crochets down the chain. And then I'm just going to keep repeating that around. So single crochet in the next stitch on the bottom and chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook and work a total of 10 single crochets down the chain. And then we're just going to work one more little spike. So single crochet into that last stitch around the bottom and chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet in the second chain from the hook and work a total of 5 single crochets down the chain. And then when you reach the bottom, you're just going to slip stitch into that first chain we worked, the first single crochet we worked actually, and just slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 1 and tie off, leaving about a 12-inch tail, just long enough so that we can sew this to the top of our carrot. pull up the loop. And I'm going to trim the short tail from the beginning, just so it doesn't pop out. So if you want to grab your carrot and your yarn needle, just weave our yarn through the needle. And I'm just going to center it right on top of the main body of the carrot. And I want my little, whatever you want to call these, little spikes sticking up. So all I'm going to do is sew this middle part right to the center of the carrot, but leaving these little spikes alone so that they will curl up. So get your topper centered on top, and then I'm just going to crochet, making sure I'm working through the leaf topper and the top of the carrot, and just sew it right on top. It's a little hard to hold right under the camera, so I'm trying to get it center so that you can see and that I can see too. Okay, so just sew this right on top. Making sure you're working in both the carrot part and the leaf part. When you think you have enough that it's secure, we'll just secure it with a knot on the top. I think I'm just going to do one more just to make sure it's on there good. Okay, so I'm just going to secure it with a knot on the top. And then we can just hide our tail end right inside the carrot. And just trim this tail. And we're all done. There's our little carrot. Thank you so much for following along, and I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you a part of the Turtle Trunk family. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and be sure to tag your photos with the hashtag TurtleTrunkLove so I can see your finished carrot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.